Just the Tips, a Menmoir, Season 1, Episode 14, Honest Lives.
Welcome and happy 4th of July, motherfuckers.
Happy 4th, yo.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy. I'm your co-host. I'm Joe.
I'm Chuck.
And we're back on the 4th of July. If you hear any bangs, you hear any pops, you hear any of that, that's a celebration in the hood.
That's Richmond being Richmond. They dropping them M1000s left and right. You hear that car alarm in the background?
Yeah, what? Listen.
Yep.
That's a car alarm.
Or they're breaking into it. It's one of the two.
Yeah, one of those is happening because it's the hood. Richmond,
Right.
San Pablo, what's up? We do it right. We're celebrating America tonight.
That's right. Independence Day.
Oh, man. Sorry. So today we're talking some new shit. And we're coming with a new segment that I think is going to be recurring called Trophy Husbands.
Yeah, we talk about why we're so valuable in the marriage.
Yeah, how we're irreplaceable.
That's right.
Perfection is the word that I'm thinking about.
Top shelf.
I feel like nothing is better. And you're fucking welcome.
Yeah, all day long.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're coming back with a listener favorite, pet peeves.
Oh, yeah. You know I love the pet peeves. The Peeveses, man. The
Yeah.
Peeveses are the ones.
And we're going to talk about something that really burns my soul, reality TV.
Oh, yeah. What's interesting about the reality TV is you hate it, I love it.
Yeah.
On different levels. Not all of it.
And why I'm grateful to white people for some of it.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into some of that. And, you know, in honor of Independence Day, I want to tell you kind of a quick story about my wife's contribution to America's veterans.
America.
You know, I'm a veteran. I don't know how many times I mentioned that or if I have it all.
I think you might have did it once or twice.
Okay, so I had an appointment at the VA. So we're in Oakland and we're walking into the appointment. And I'm walking behind my wife. And, you know, I'm just enjoying the view. It's what I do. And I noticed that
You're a prevert even with your own wife.
yeah, of course. And so if she would give it up, that wouldn't be a problem.
I know.
You know what I mean? All I could do was fantasize about having sex with my wife.
If she only put out, some of this would come true.
Yeah. I mean, it don't have to be tied to a child is what I'm saying. Like sometimes we could just touch.
Right.
Just because it's Tuesday.
That don't tend to happen too often, does it? The married life, motherfuckers. Ain't no one tell you got to touch yourself on the weekends. It's some bullshit.
Touch yourself. Monday through Fridays is taking up, motherfucker.
You got to make up some bullshit reasons why, hey, don't you need to take the kids out the house just so I could get 10 minutes alone with some jergens and some napkins, God damn it.
This motherfucker said he needed a masturbation appointment.
Exactly, for myself. That's what married life is like. The shit is rough out here, man. I'm telling you.
That's where the side pieces come out. I don't understand why this is a problem.
I don't know, man. We're trying to learn them something, but it's not working out too well for us either. You were making a point.
So we're walking through, and I'm noticing that there's just a little more swing in that ass today. And I was like, huh. So do the appointment. I come out. I see her, you know, we're in the lobby, whatever. I come down. We're going down the stairs, and I still see her, like, but it was extra.
Like she was popping the hip?
Yeah, like she was really feeling herself. Like she knew she looked good.
At the VA.
Exactly.
So my question is, only at the VA or was like it an all-day thing?
You know what her walk looks like. You know what I mean? She just has whatever her regular walk is. This was not that walk.
Okay.
And when I noticed that, I started noticing where we were. And I noticed that it was happening when we were walking through the common areas where other veterans were.
Okay. Does she have a thing for veterans? Is that where this is going?
That is my question.
I don't know.
I feel like, well, I'm sort of a veteran.
You are a veteran.
And I don't really see her being like that unless she's in front of other veterans. So I just felt like she just knew that she was like the belle of the ball walking through there and just was swinging that ass for veterans. Like she's doing this for America.
She knows what veterans like, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, this is my time to shine. She was like, oh, I could take all these dudes down right now if I wanted to. She knows what she had to offer in that room.
Yeah, she definitely was going through there swinging more ass than usual.
And you caught it. That's what's hilarious, that you were there to witness it.
Because it caught my attention. I was like, oh, damn. And I was like, wait a minute. What is this?
Even it fooled you. It drew you in.
I was like, where has this been?
Now you know why you married her. She already had a tactic.
Now I know why she married me.
To take you down.
Yeah, so it was a trap, but she was also kind of fulfilling some type of need that she has.
Right.
So I'm just shout out to my friends that are veterans. when you get around her, just try not to feel weird, now that you hear this, because I know some of my boys, they listen to this and they know her.
Right. And she be trying to throw it out there.
Yeah, so she been swinging ass at them and I didn't know it. So I just want to let them know, hey, it's cool if y'all looked. Yeah. She shouldn't have been doing it, really. That's on her. But you can't help being who you are.
Right. Just pay no, never mind. Just try to ignore that, just put it to the back of your head.
It's like a dog that's trying to hump your leg. You just can't. You just kind of push it to the side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't give it attention. So if she comes swinging that ass, you just push it to the side.
Right.
And then hopefully, y'all can just carry on
your normal conversation.
Yeah, and just don't look at her in the eyes too much. I think she gets lost in people's eyes really easily.
She might attack you at that point. This segment brought to you by Carrie Mate's Unsalted Butter.
Carrie Mate's Unsalted Butter, America's #1 vegan, organic, flavorless, textureless, and ingredientless butter, flavoring white people's potato salad since 1882. So we have another story time with Chuck and Joe to bring you, and this one's going to be kind of subtopic trophy husband.
That's right. This is where we prove why we're the best husbands ever.
This has to do with yard, lawn maintenance, home care, improvement. Like, I don't even know what the fuck we would put this under. But
landscaping.
Yeah, landscaping.
Or the lack of.
Yeah, and, we're basically Latin in the eyes of anyone. So we've already disrespected all kinds of ancestors just off top.
Because we refuse to do lawn work. It's in my DNA, but I don't want to do it.
So, look, I found someone named Jason, but we'll do his Spanish name, Hassan.
Hassan?
So, Hassan
yes,
is Asian. So, we calling him Hassan, but that shit is not making no sense right now.
He thinks it's a compliment. He's in the circle now.
Yeah, so I found him somewhere online, to be honest. I don't know how I got his name or whatever.
I don't know where you got him either.
So he was doing my lawn. Now, I can't do my lawn really because I have, severe allergies. That's what I call it.
Right.
I could do it, but, no, there's really no point. There's no reason to put myself to
suffer through that.
Yeah,
right?
It's pretty bad. And it's so bad that my wife agrees. Let's put it that way. And if she can make me do some extra shit, she will.
Yeah.
So she's like, okay, I don't want to have to deal with you being, because I'll get fucking angry. I'm like, I can't breathe. I can't see. These motherfuckers running around screaming. It's like leading up to the ass whooping that she don't want to get, because I will Hulk smash.
I got you.
That said, allergies, I don't be doing it. So Jason's been doing it for a little more than a year now. But at some point, I'm going to say 6 months ago, I don't know. You asked me for a recommendation or whatever. You needed some work done, whatever. So I hooked you up with Hassan.
And the reason that I asked for a gardener or anybody that to come do some landscaping is because I have terrible luck with landscapers. Horrible luck.
I didn't even know that was a thing, to have luck with landscapers.
It just hasn't worked out. I've had 3 or 4 different ones and they've never worked out. One of them did a terrible job. The other one didn't clean up. One of them broke a window. The other one broke one of the door windows.
I remember the window. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so there's been multiple windows broken, and I just can't catch a break, right? So I went ahead and reached out to you because I know you had a guy, and one of the good reasons I wanted him too is because the cost is very cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous how inexpensive this guy is to come and clean 400 square feet of yard.
I feel like I feel like it's a practical joke that I'm waiting for someone to be like, surprise, we got you. You owe me $700.
It's not even $1 a yard with him. It's it's
he's
a
not
dime,
mulch. Damn, that's a person.
A quarter foot of yard, and $40. He's doing the whole football field. You know what I mean? So he's at a discount. He's at a discount. So at the moment, I basically needed,
we pay him in yen or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, something to come out. So he's came out, and the first time, everything went well. He cut everything down. A little sloppy, but I ain't mad for the cost. So some weeks later,
which I never experienced. I only had one time where I had to hit him up and be like, hey, I took pictures of this shit. What is this? What the fuck?
Right.
But other than that one time, which was a month ago, I've never experienced that. So when you told me that, it was hard for me to believe it.
Yeah,
but I believed
what?
it.
You don't understand. He's there's no way. No, trust me.
He gave no fucks, apparently.
Sloppy. You know what I'm saying? Just sloppy work. Stuff was half-ass cut and, whatever. The shit was down. That's what was important. So a couple weeks later, and I'm assuming that it grew back a couple weeks later because it wasn't done right the first time, we noticed that in the backyard, we have kind of a cascade, a waterfall, if you will, from the top because we have an elevated backyard. And the water runs down this waterfall and fills into a pool. and it fills up and the water pumps
like
up.
a little pond.
And it has like a little pond at the bottom. You know, it's real nice. It had been raining at some point from those weeks forward, and the pond had filled up. I guess, I don't know if it was my mother-in-law I think it was my mother-in-law who stepped outside, because every once in a while she'd go back outside, or whether it was my mother because she does some gardening. They had noticed that there was a dead rat.
I think it was your mom. Yeah,
I think it was my mom. A dead rat had been kind of half floating in the pool, and the other half of its body was leaned on the edge, almost like he was wading in the water. But the way she described said rat, she measured it roughly 2 to 2.5 feet.
Damn.
Extremely bloated because it had been soaking in water. It had ballooned up.
How long do you think it was in there?
Probably 2 weeks based on the state of decomposure.
Damn. Okay, so you got a big ass rat. All right.
So there's a big ass rat in the backyard. My wife finds out about the rat being back there, and she doesn't deal well with rodents at all. Like, that's her 12. Like, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this. I'm moving out. We're selling the house. She wanted to sell the house when she heard about the 2.5-foot rat in the backyard.
That's extra as fuck.
A hella extra, right? So it's bad. So I'm like, all right, you know, I'll get rid of it. But I do have the gardener coming in a day or two.
So that's how it happened. I never knew that part.
So he's coming, right? So I already know he's on his way, and he's going to come and cut it up. So I'm thinking he's got to empty the pool anyway. I'm just not.
Does he, though?
It's part of the job. They're supposed to empty out the water because it doesn't have like a drainage plug. So every gardener I've ever had, I've asked them to empty it out and to pull the leaves out of there.
Okay.
So I'm thinking he's going to come in. I'm not going to mention it, right? I'm just going to be like, he'll probably clean up. It's not that big deal. To be honest with you, I went out there once, but I didn't think it was a big deal. But thinking back now, I realize how big of a monster this thing was. And I told my wife, the gardener's coming. He's going to clean up. Don't mention the rat. Just don't say anything about it. And, you know, if he cleans, he cleans. If he doesn't, we'll go from there. So she agrees to just not say nothing. So the day comes. He comes in. It's probably like a Wednesday, 11 in the morning. He's over here. My family's home, but I'm not here. So he goes about cleaning the front. Then by the time he gets to the back, at some point I get a phone call at work from the gardener. And
Were you waiting for it? Or?
No, I didn't know what time he was going to show up. So it kind of threw me off. So I knew he was going to be there that day, but I didn't know the time. So he calls and basically tells me, hey, do you know you have a big old rat back here that's
he barely speaks English. So.
Yeah, so I was already like, what are you talking about? Like, oh yeah, I don't know anything about that. And he was like, yeah, I don't do that kind of stuff. Like, I can't like move it. I'm like, all right, just, you know, leave it there. It is what it is. Right. So I guess he had also told my wife, and my wife, instead of being like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, she proceeds to tell him, oh yeah, my husband said that you would take care of it. So
gangster.
So she basically ratted me out, saying that he was going to take care of it, when I said, no, don't tell him anything about it. You should just be quiet. So, you know, of course he gets upset. He's upset about the situation because he now finds out like, oh, they just left this damn rat back here for me to deal with, and I don't deal with that kind of stuff.
Do you remember what he said? How he described it?
I couldn't remember. Like,
he was like, it's so bad.
Oh yeah, no. He was definitely complaining. Like, he was like, "There's a big rat out here. I don't do that kind of stuff. It's so bad.
Like,
it's so
I've never
bad.
heard
It's
of
so
that
bad."
before.
Like, yeah.
Like, I've never heard someone describe a dead
Like,
rat
it's so
like
bad.
this is so bad. I was like,
yeah, he didn't know how to deal with it. He was just like,
he was distraught.
I hurt his feelings. Basically, I had ruined his day. So with that being said, I guess I was just like, don't worry about it. Let it be. He decides he's going to deal with it anyway. Like, I guess he was just like, all right, you know what? I'm already working back here. I might as well deal with this. He had to grab one of my shovels that I just keep in the backyard and just tossed it in one of our bins. And I think it's the green. I don't know if he put it in the green bin or the trash. He put it in one of the bins, but the bin was already full. So it was just laid across on top.
Oh, God, that's gross.
He had to carry it about 25 feet from the pond to the front of the house where the trash
like
was
25
at.
yards.
Yeah, he had to go a long way with that rat. And he laid it across. And when I came home to double check, because, you know, he left. He left and he texted me like, I'll come back to get my payment. Like, I need to go. He didn't even want to wait for me to show up.
That?
Yeah, he was like, I'm out of here. He was done. He got rid of the rat, finished cleaning up, and left. When I get home, I pop open the lid, and sure enough, there's this 3-foot rat with its tail hanging out of the bin. It was enormous. Like, the water had soaked in. It was like a sponge. So he was bloated. Like, I can't even explain what it looks like, but just reminds me of one of those long water balloons. You know what I mean? They're like hecka squishy, but they're about 2 feet big. That's what he looked like, right?
That's gross.
So I called him later on and I was like, hey, you want me to come get your money? He's like, no. Why don't you just mail it to me? By the way, I've never mailed him a payment a day in my life. He's always came to pick it up. So he didn't even want to come to the house. So I went ahead and mailed it to him. That was that. It was done.
I think we have to fast forward to like the night before this.
Yeah. Hold on. Now I'm going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
But what's also interesting about that is that I actually called him sometime later, maybe the following 3 to 4 weeks out. And when I asked him to come back and just do some cleaning, I think he got so offended that at that point he told me that he was like, no, I'm too busy. Unfortunately, you're going to have to find someone else.
Damn.
He basically stopped working for me based on the rat.
You touched his soul.
Yeah, I ruined his whole experience on my block. I don't even think he works on this block anymore.
Damn, he's looking at a career change after that. He's like, I can't do this.
Now, going back to when I mentioned that I didn't really want to deal with it, so I wanted to have him here. The night before the rat was taken care of or the gardener was coming, my wife was telling me, did you handle it? At that point, I hadn't let her know that I actually hadn't dealt with the rat yet. So I completely lied and said, yeah, I already took care of it. Don't worry about it. She was like, are you sure? And, she got the heebie-jeebies and scratched herself like, please tell me it's not outside. I'm like, no, it's already gone. I told her with a straight face, the rat is gone. You are more than welcome to go check.
Yeah,
so
you sold that. You were in.
At that point, like, I'm trying to get in. You know what I mean? It's the bi-weekly routine of it's my night that I got to get a release in. You know what I'm saying?
I feel it.
So in order to do that, she basically told me while this rat is in this property, she's not giving anything up.
Right.
That's what she told me.
I get that.
So when she asked if the rat was still there, and me knowing that the gardener's coming the next day, I was like, yeah, absolutely. It's gone. And I told her, you are more than welcome to go outside right now and go look at that rat. And I said it with such conviction that she believed me. I was like, no, I will. Let's go right now. Let's go outside and see if it's there.
You were ready to do so much extra.
I was selling it, the lie, an honest lie.
You were honest about your lie, though.
I was honest about my lie. That shit was not there. Needless to say, I definitely won in that situation, so it all worked out in my favor. But I had to tell her sometime later, the following day, when the gardener came and asked her, there's a rat there.
Is that when she put it together? Like, this motherfucker lied to me.
At that moment, she realized, oh, he didn't even get rid of it. He got some for that. And now I'm assuming this is why she told him, my husband said you're going to take care of it. So I'm thinking she threw me under the bus. I don't know if this is true, but I feel like she threw me under the bus for a little payback.
Yeah, she was a little angry at that moment.
That's right.
So I feel like if you can pull this together, I feel like contract out yard work, don't contract out laying the pipe.
Exactly.
Because you get that backwards. You out there doing some work and someone else is doing work. You don't want that.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be so available in the house that there's no possibility of anyone taking your spot.
The dick's on standby is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. So the yard work can wait. That is not a priority for you.
Fellas, get some allergies. Do something. I got Hassan. You want someone to come through? Hassan, he will travel America for this work.
That's right.
Except for Chuck's house.
Exactly. This is the one place he will not put in no kind of work. This segment brought to you by Hickman's Egg Farm.
Hickman's Egg Farm. Our eggs don't come from shithole countries. That's the one, motherfucker. We got it. All right, so we're back, and I actually want to bring up something that is kind of a pet peeve for me, but it's kind of something that you enjoy.
Right.
And so I want to have this conversation about reality TV.
And we're on the opposite side of the fence on this one, so
please explain it to me, because I am not a fan. I think that's already just known from jump probably, but I don't understand. Maybe you can talk me into why it is not something I should rip my eyeballs out.
So it depends on what reality TV show you're watching, right? So the type of reality TV that I enjoy is like that real ratchet stuff, where it's just pretty much just a bunch of drama, extra BS, whole lot of fighting. I find it entertaining. Why? I don't know. It's a different type of drama. And a lot of that is probably fake storylines they just put together. But
like scripted, like stuff.
I think so. It's not supposed to be, but we know a lot of this reality TV show actually is scripted. So
isn't that? But like you're saying, you only like the kind of reality TV that's drama and bullshit. But isn't it all drama and bullshit? Like, how are you separating that?
Like I said, it depends on what you're watching, right? Actually, it might be the same thing. So I'm thinking like Jersey Shore, right? So there's drama and bullshit, but that isn't interesting to me. I don't watch that show at all. Like it annoys me. But like Love and Hip Hop or something of that nature, it's similar. But for some reason, that is entertaining to me.
Okay, so for me, like, basically every reality TV show is Jersey Shore.
Oh, okay.
Like, once I know that you're under the umbrella of reality TV, it is hard for me to, like, accept you as worth my time.
How about these shows like Ink Master or something like that, where they're doing a competition and it has to do with, like, that one has to do with, like, tattoos or stuff like that. What do you think about those type? Because technically, I think that's reality. I mean, it's like a game show, but it's also reality TV, so it's a little of both. What do you think about those?
So those types of shows are like their own genre. So like that reminds me of like Iron Chef or whatever. You know what I mean?
Master Chef and all that
like
stuff.
Cake Boss and like. So my problem with those shows is actually I could watch them, so to speak, but for me, they're taking 5 minutes of content and making it 30 minutes.
That is exactly what it is.
It's just like cook the cake, everyone look at it, tell me who wins. That's all I need. So like all I really need is the 5 minutes of content, and I get mad at the other 25 minutes.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like all the extra shit that they put in to make it 30 minutes is like, no, make it 15 minutes at least, and maybe I might watch it because my wife likes to watch that shit.
Right.
She's really into Catfish.
Yeah.
So I've seen some of those with her. Sometimes I actually will get caught up watching it because the story is like weird or crazy or whatever.
But it's drama though.
Most of them I can't watch because it's the same shit. One person's thirsty, fell in love with a picture, acting like they're actually in love, heartbroken when the picture's not a person, and it's a dude. That's basically the show over and over and over. It's when I don't know what's gonna happen. If I happen to walk by and I'm like, so what's been going on? And she'll be like, oh, blah blah blah, and I'm like, that sounds crazy. I want to see what happens with that. I'll stand there for a couple minutes, and if it's trash, I move on. In general, there's like another type of reality TV that if it were made into shorter little segments, like a little webisode, maybe I would watch it. But like my father-in-law, he likes to watch Storage Trailer, what they call that?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Storage Wars.
Is that what it's called? Storage
I think it's
Wars?
Storage Wars, yeah.
So he will watch that shit because it's like...
I got into it for a little bit.
You see? So he'll watch that and I'm like, okay. But then after it became the same thing over and over, but it's trash to me.
I mean, all the shows are basically the same thing over and over. It's just that whether you like that brand of whatever they're talking about. So with that particular show, they do have internal drama and they argue and outbid each other. So I actually like that show too, and I was watching it because it was just them arguing and haggling about dumb shit, but the drama made it interesting, so I would watch it. So that's one of the reasons I like it. When it's just really petty, frivolous ass arguing that I know in my day-to-day I don't have to deal with that shit, but it's funny to watch it because it just seems so ridiculous and stupid that it entertains me. It's like mind-numbing entertainment.
Yeah. And, for me, it's like mind-numbing to where I get angry.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need to sit here because, like, these people are mostly, it might be scripted, but they mostly live in that life.
Right.
To them, it's like, oh, I need to scratch this bitch in the eyeballs and do all this other shit because she didn't invite me to her baby shower. I don't give a fuck about none of that ever. I barely care about my own baby shower.
Oh, I don't care about any of that either.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why do I care about theirs? And like, you know what I mean? It's like, y'all rich and this and that. And it's like, I don't care why you're mad because you have no reason to be mad. You're creating the drama in your life because if not, your shit would be regular.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't need to use my free time to see how people manufacture that shit because it doesn't entertain me. It makes me angry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's
you got
like
the opposite effect of me.
It's a crossroad. And it's like for you, it's like, I'm just going to laugh at it because it's dumb shit, whatever.
Dumb.
Right?
It's hilarious.
And for me, it's like, man, fuck this shit, bro. Like, I go do some other shit.
I see.
I'm so like drama averse, and I know like all dudes probably say that,
right?
But I'm so drama averse. I don't ask questions when I hear a story.
Okay.
So it's like if I like my wife would be like, oh, and then this happened, I'm just listening for the end of the story.
Right. You're waiting for it to conclude.
Because I don't, I mean, she's got to get it out, and I appreciate that, and I'm sure that there's shit I want to talk about that she feels the same way about. Right. This isn't like I'm on some fucking high horse and I only give out good information. I know I'm full of shit too. We all are. But her shit is too closely related sometimes to that shit. Like, I don't care what shit look like.
It's them building the storyline, putting it together, and this person said this, and that person pissed off that person.
The worst part of reality TV.
Exactly.
Just get to the point.
Exactly. So you can't really handle that whole interaction and discussion.
That's a shortcoming of mine.
Of
That's
confrontation that you don't want to hear because it ain't your problem, so you don't want to deal with it, and you don't get entertained by seeing other people deal with it as well.
So basically, it's every pet peeve episode we've had up until now rolled into a TV show.
Gotcha.
I don't want to hear about these relationships. I don't want to hear about no weak ass advice. I don't care about these other bitches' problems.
Right.
I don't care about none of this because what women want. You know what I mean? Like, all these episodes have been just getting me ready to tell you why I hate reality TV.
Pretty much.
But there are exceptions.
How are the exceptions? What exceptions do you have?
Now, these might, because I'm not a connoisseur and I don't really quite understand it, these might not be good exceptions. However, I really enjoy Real Husbands of Hollywood. I know that it's reality television, but it's a spoof of reality television. So it's not real. It's like reality TV, but it's also a scripted show. So I don't count that as a reality TV show because it's basically just a regular TV show. You're a connoisseur.
Making fun of reality TV. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not sold with that. Like, I love that show, mad entertaining, but I don't consider that a reality television show.
So here's why I put it under that umbrella is because it has a lot of the same pieces. Like, it's like all women, so this is all dudes, Real Housewives. So you going into it knowing that it's going to be a certain perspective. Real Housewives is going to be some petty shit. So Real Husbands is going to be some dumb shit. Like,
and it's funny.
And it's scripted. Like, look at these other ones. We were just saying, oh, like, it's reality TV, but it's scripted. Like, you know it's going to be
But
some
it's
shit.
lightly scripted. This is like a script. Like, we're putting jokes in and we're going to make sure they're funny type.
But if you want to, like, watch some reality TV that's, like, acceptable in my mind's eye, so to speak, I would go with that one. And then there's one more.
All right. What's the next one?
The one that I could really kind of feel like open my eyes about the world was, and I think I got the title right, Sister Wives.
Sister Wives. You enjoy
like some A&E shit or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
I know what it is. It's probably on the H&G channel or
whatever
something.
The fuck.
I've seen like some episodes from the first season because my wife was into it for a little bit, and then by the second season she was done with it. I'm assuming because she doesn't condone that type of behavior, and she didn't want me getting no ideas. So she was like, you know what, you need not to be watching this type of stuff.
Surprise, surprise, she was being a hater.
So she shut it down.
It's interesting that you said that because that's actually the exact reason why I found it interesting.
Okay.
It gave me ideas.
There it is. You fell for the trap.
And now here we are.
Right.
This really opened my eyes to polygamy outside of outside of the biblical sense.
Okay.
Okay, like Old Testament shit, you know, you had like 9 wives, whatever. I knew that it was still a thing somewhere. I mean, it was a word. I knew what the word meant, but I didn't really understand how it was operationalized into our society.
Yeah.
And then so this one is like polygamy. I can't remember if they're Mormon or not. I'm going to assume they are.
I think they are. I don't remember.
And they're in Utah, so I'm trying not to be too generalizing here, but I feel like it's a safe bet that that's what's happening.
Yeah, but it's still frowned upon though.
Yeah, so like I guess there's like a subsection of the church, or I don't know.
So, I don't know what it is.
Whatever the fuck it is, it's supposedly it's all good.
Right.
So polygamy, I want to say white people got that shit right.
Yeah.
And it's in the Bible, so I feel like it's kind of okay.
Okay. All right.
So that's my justification for having thoughts beyond polygamy. No, that's wrong. Don't think about it anymore. I feel like white people doing it, they just trying to keep us from enjoying it. That's number one.
All right.
And number two, if it's in the Bible at some point,
why can't you do it?
Why can't I at least think about it?
Right.
And contemplate it?
So have you mentioned this to your wife? Have you let her know that you've watched this show? She knows you hate reality
I watched
TV.
it with her. I seen it
you
with
watched
her.
it with her, and did she see that glimmer of hope in your eye just sparkle when you were watching the show? And did she then proceed to be like, we're not watching the show anymore? Did she shut it down? Did she shut down your hope and dreams?
Well, actually, yeah. So she does regularly.
Okay.
And what I do is I use it as a way to create a tense conversation that borderlines argument. And it goes something like this. For some reason, she's not doing her job. It don't matter what the reason is.
It takes 4 women to do all this.
So what I say is, this is why you need assistant wives.
Okay.
So I'm okay with the polygamy and the TV show, but see, the problem was it's in the details. It's how they carried out the polygamy.
Okay.
It's how their situation plays out makes it untenable for me.
Okay.
So if someone said you can have a dead-on Sister Wives TV show situation, I would say no, I don't want that.
Can't deal with it?
This instead.
Okay.
Here's my this.
Here's your this.
They had multiple houses.
That's right.
I didn't see that much of the show, but I saw enough to figure this out.
Right.
So they live like, I don't know, on a court, whatever, and there was a couple of houses next to each other, and he would go house to house.
Right.
To me, living in the Bay Area, it's expensive as fuck to live out here, number one. And number two, that's way too much work.
I don't like being on a schedule either.
Yeah, if y'all remember, we ain't trying to do all that extra shit.
Right.
You need one big-ass house. Don't invest in multiple houses. Get one big house with like separate wings, like the type where you can have like a master bedroom. Yeah, but I'm talking about not like a big plot of land with different facilities. One just big house.
Got you.
I mean, if you want to call it a compound, that's cool. I don't really care. But you get the one house, so you can, what you do is you have separate wings so you can cordon these wives off. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna get petty. It's gonna get petty in there.
It always does.
So it's like you need to go to the north wing, the south wing, east. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
4 corners of this house.
And you want to centralize the man cave in the middle.
Exactly. So I need to be in the middle so I can get to whatever area I need to get to. Now, each wife or assistant wife, they have, and I got part of this idea from my mother-in-law.
I would love to hear why that is.
So I'll give you a quick bite of that story so that it has a little context. The mermaid thing about how we refer to side pieces as mermaids. My father-in-law does it. Everyone in like my in-laws knows what this is.
Right.
Her take was, if I'm going to be a mermaid, I'm going to be the queen mermaid, and I'm in charge of all the other mermaids. That's my mother-in-law.
She's a head mermaid.
So what I did was I took that and incorporated that into my sister wives' fairy tale. Now that brings us to each wife commits to having separate duties.
Right.
So it's like they're committing like, okay, so I'm going to have my main wife be my current one.
Right. She'd be the head. She'd be the head mermaid.
She'd be the head mermaid if she acted right.
Right.
So that's up to her. She can get demoted.
Yeah, real fast.
Yeah, so you hear me? You hear what I'm saying?
You can get put on third string real fast.
Is that you want to be on the practice squad?
Yeah, you're gonna be on the bench tomorrow if you don't do your job.
Don't ride the pine. And I'm trying to bring in the assistants.
I got you.
So one would be like
help me, help you.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
I know where you're going. I got you.
One could do the cooking. So I just took cooking off the table for her. One could do the cleaning.
There it is.
One could do, I don't know, babysitting.
And you as the head mermaid can now delegate these other duties to everyone else.
She's delegating them. Like, you got to get to know the mermaids. You got to find out the strengths. You got to find out the weaknesses.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you got bars in the kitchen?
Create a schedule.
You're the cooking one.
Yeah. You're like a manager on duty.
And that's your job. Like, you don't have to go to work.
Not at all.
All you have to do is cook breakfast, cook lunch, and cook dinner.
One does laundry,
like other errands.
I got you. One that does the back to school nights and stuff like that.
Yes. And you split up those duties, and I feel like it's helping my wife.
Number one.
Take that off her plate.
Definitely.
So she could be the career woman she wants to be. She could still spend time with the kids. I mean, I feel like I'm opening up a lot of time for her.
Yeah, and now you don't have to deal with the little petty duties that have to be done around the house.
Now, the main wife, so this is where I feel like this is the negotiation part.
Okay.
This is why this could be okay for some people.
Okay.
The main wife is the one that's responsible for having my children.
There it is.
And the other wives, either this is like a pre-screening situation, they either have to not want to have kids
or already be sterile.
Okay. All right. Or that.
Right.
And then the third one would be at most one kid each. So it's like all you get to have is one child.
Right.
Right now, like we could have like 3 or 4 or whatever, and then plus one so that they
plus
get
ones.
If they get plus ones, which is only basically so that they can fulfill
like a light Brady Bunch situation. You know what I mean?
Something like that.
I got you.
But that's generally what you want, though. That's really not ideal. What's ideal is that they're the type of woman that's like, I don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
I just want to just stay home and do what I want to do and blah, blah, blah. Then fine. Then all you have to do is clean this house every day and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Again, open up that time for my wife. Now, when the main wife, here's where it starts to get a little sticky. When the main wife, when the head mermaid doesn't want to give up the booty, now the other wives become an option.
Right.
Sexually.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm having them do your job. They're doing the cleaning. They're doing this. They're doing that. You have all this other time. Maybe you don't have to work, or you do work, then you just go home, you with the kids, you having fun, you watching your shows. But once it's time to get into the deed, it really shouldn't be no questions because you're not really tired because everyone else is taking care of that.
There's no way you could be tired. You ain't got enough to do in your day for you not to spend time with me and fulfill my needs.
So I feel like I've taken a lot of responsibilities off the table for you. You could really take this one up strong.
I fulfilled some of your needs, which are need to not do nothing, need to not clean, need to not wash, do dishes, or whatever. Now you need to fulfill my end of the bargain, and you need to fulfill my sexual needs. And
and we could be like a selection committee. You know what I mean? We could set up some close friends, people she trusts. Like you could pick them. You know what I mean? All I got to do is just let you know it has to be at least, a 6 or 7.
There's a criteria.
And you know what I mean? And once we get past that hurdle,
right,
Go for personality. Do whatever you need to do. If you need to go get her, get yourself a go get her.
So you feel you could sell her on this one? You're
If
making a good case right now. I'm just saying.
I am right now.
I don't know if you're convincing her at the moment.
Because here's what I'm saying. It don't have to get sexual with the assistant wives. It don't have to go there. But when you don't do your job, now it's on the table.
There's at least once a month I'm going to be going to a different wing in the compound. That's what I'm saying.
And here's the next piece. Is like, let's say that as a husband in general, like we trying to touch all the time, and maybe they're not always trying to touch all the time. So once you marry these women, I mean, the ratio of how often you're allowed to bang goes from daily, and it just slowly deteriorates, right?
Right.
You're married to all these women, so that is going to deteriorate as well, right?
Over time.
So they're all let's just make it up. They're all going to want to fuck just one time a week.
Okay.
So you hit the main wife up on the day 2, like, hey, let's run it back. No, I'm going to wife number 2. That's one time that week with her.
And then her clock restarts for the following week.
That's right. And then the third one, because they're done for the week, third one, clock not reset yet, so she's down. Then when she gets reset, the fourth one. So you got to have about 6, 7 of them.
I got you. Keep the rotation heavy.
And if you do that, all they got to do is give it up once a week.
That's it.
And if you don't want me to have to do that, then you just give it up just every day-ish.
Ish.
I mean, I'm old now. I'm tired, and my body is getting weary.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do. There's only so much the factory could put out at this point. You know what I mean? This is how you get a case of the dry dick. You use it too much and it just starts coughing up, and you don't want to be put in that situation.
You don't want ashy Larry dick.
Exactly. You
don't have to
powder. Exactly. Straight powdered milk coming out the tip. You don't want to get to that point. You know what I mean?
Just baking soda.
Exactly. Just dust in the wind.
Like the inside of a 300-year-old coffin. Ain't shit in there but hair and nails.
Dusty ass chalk. You know what I mean. You understand.
So I guess when it comes to reality TV, if we go back to that, this really brought me on to a question as to whether or not this was a real option for me. So I'm going to be raising this with my wife, number one.
All right.
And I have before, and it didn't end well, but now I'm going to officially do it.
Okay.
And or maybe they'll come on and discuss it with us.
Yeah.
But I want to say that, I want to thank white people for holding down polygamy. You know what I mean? For writing it into the Bible.
Shout out to y'all.
The execution was faulty, but I feel like I just came in and cleaned all that up.
Okay.
I feel like A&E or whoever the fuck it is needs to come and talk to me about this new show.
Right.
When it's called like Mermaid Wives. I don't know.
Or whatever.
Assistant Mermaids. Like whatever it is. I feel like we just fixed polygamy for white people, and you're welcome.
Enjoy that.
All right. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks to you, the listeners. We got our value sponsors. We can't do nothing without them.
Absolutely not. Bills get paid with them.
And a shout out to our friends on the Not Safe for Work podcast network. What's up, y'all?
NSFW, what it do?
Now, of course, we are the West Coast flagship of this, of the network. We're holding it down.
That's right.
And we have a second role as mentors. And, we've really taken one of our struggling podcasts under our wing. PJ, from Bickerbots Podcast. I love the podcast is top flight. Right. But they're kind of host moderator, the dude that kind of tries to be like me but can't really pull it off. His name is PJ.
Okay.
He's like poor Joe. You know what I mean? It's like a poor man's Joe.
Yeah, exactly.
So we had to take him under his wing because somehow it was reported that they were averaging negative downloads.
Yeah, I don't even know how that happens.
I don't even know how the fuck that is possible.
It works in reverse for them.
When that came up, the network, that we had a meeting of the leadership. He's not a part of the leadership team. Yeah. That's why he didn't know about the meeting.
He's not part of the governing board?
That's right. So there was a meeting, and they needed, one of the flagships to really just hold him down and help him out. And so in the way that, we exude dominance over the network and over most of podcasting.
Right.
It's kind of like how the Warriors own the Cavs.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of like the Cavs. He happens to be from Cleveland, I think.
And we're sweeping him out here.
Yeah, and so we're out here cleaning up his mess. We're picking up his pieces.
Where my big broom at?
Get that broom.
that 4-foot push broom. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So speaking of that, what we've been tasked with doing is actually asking folks to download and listen to at least one episode of Bickerbots Podcast, kind of like a charitable.
Right.
You can put it on your taxes.
Right. Just come out here, do one download, one listen, and change their lives. It's like donating 39 cents.
If we can get them to zero.
We get them to just that even plane of nothing, the goose egg, man, they'll be so grateful.
Yeah. If I can get that anchor off of my neck, called the Bicker Boss Podcast, that would be great.
Right.
So
Help us out there.
help us help them.
Listeners, help.
And the other thing is they got a Patreon account, and actually the reason that they have that is because I found out that their internet service provider charges them more for the garbage that they put on the internet.
Damn, so they got to pay for their trash?
So they actually have the regular internet fee, and then they have the we're fucking trash fee that they have to pay for putting out their internet out, that garbage out into the world.
That's crazy.
So they have that fee. Patreon helps offset those costs. So give them a download, and try to help offset these costs so that they can stay on the internet. We want them to succeed.
Yeah, drop in 39 cents a month. Help them out, change their lives. That's the least you can do.
And if you want to see us roast them anymore, you can catch all that on Twitter at NSFW Pod Network.
And we ain't got no damn Patreon. We do this for the free.
That's right. Don't forget to check us out on the social medias at Menmoirs.
That's right.
You can get us. You can send us some topics, some questions, words about your life, anything you want to talk about, the DMs, all that. Menmoirs@gmail.com.
That's right.
And that's going to be it for us. I'm your co-host. I'm Joe.
I'm Chuck.
And this is Just the Tips of Menmoir. And we out.
Deuces.